Hi ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. LaJoy here again with the second part of our lesson for today. So we just looked at going from slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, into standard form, which is the form ax plus by equals c. So we took a question like we had y equals 1 over 2x plus 5, and after we converted it into standard form, our answer was x minus 2y equals negative 10. So that was slope-intercept. Into standard form. So some of the questions that you're going to do are going to ask you to go from standard backwards into slope-intercept form. So I just want to really quickly go over that with you, and then I've got one more thing for us to look at. So let's start here with our question. So where we ended up with x minus 2y equals negative 10. So if I want to bring this back into slope-intercept form, what I have to do is rearrange it. Really what I'm doing is isolating for y, right? Because in slope-intercept form we have y by itself. So what I need to do here is move anything that's not a y over to the other side. So if I'm going to move this x, it's a positive x, over to the other side, a positive x over here will become a negative x on the other side. So I have negative 2y equals negative 10 minus x. Now I want to get the y by itself. So remember, this is negative 2 times y. So in order to detach the negative 2 from the y, I have to do the opposite operation of multiplication, and that's division. So I have to divide everything by negative 2. So whatever I do to one side of an equation, I have to do to the other. So everything is going to divide by negative 2. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So I'm just left with y. On the other side, I have negative 10 divided by negative 2. Well, 2 goes into 10 5 times, and the two negatives will cancel each other out, so I'm left with 5. Now I have negative x over negative 2. Well, remember, this is a negative 1x. So really, those two negatives are going to cancel each other out, and I'm going to end up here with plus 1 over 2x. So I have gone from standard form back into slope-intercept form. All right, so now we know how to go from slope-intercept form into standard form, and now we know how to go backwards from standard form into slope-intercept form. So that's what you're going to be practicing today. I also want to, I'm going to clear this now. I want to look at another question, like you'll see in your work today. So if you have a question, for example, where we have our question already written in standard form for us, so I'm going to say, if we have this line, 3x plus 4y plus c equals 0. So they've already moved the c from this side over to the other side. Okay, so this is standard form. And we have a question where we have this line in standard form, and it says that it passes through the point 1, 2. And we are asked to find the value of C. Well, what we have to consider here is that if we have this point is 1 and 2, we have two sets of coordinates here, right? Our first is x, our second is a y. So if we want to figure out what C is, we can plug x and y in. So I'm going to say our first step is to plug x and y into the equation. So my x is 1, so I'm going to rewrite this down here and then we'll plug them in. So I have 3x plus 4y plus c equals 0. So we're trying to find the value of c. So I'm going to put my x and y in. So my x is 1. So I have 3 times 1 plus, now my y is going to be 2. So I have 4 times 2 plus c equals 0. So 3 times 1 is 3. And 4 times 2 is going to be an 8, so plus 8, plus c equals 0. So 3 plus 8 is 11, plus c equals 0. So we want to get the c by itself. So we can either move this c over here, or I can take my 11 and move it. I just want to get the c by itself. So this positive 11, if I move it over to the other side, becomes a negative 11. So I have c equals negative 11. Okay, so there's our answer here. C is equal to negative 11. So there'll be something like that as well for you to practice today. And that's it for our lesson for today. Have a great day.